Hello and welcome. This is Karen Newman. This is the Saturday Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It is Saturday, May the 7th, 2022. And we have with us our very special channel, Jim Charles. Hi, Jim. Good to have
Hello.
you again. We
Hello.
always miss you when it's a week that you're not there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So we have no announcements, or do we have an announcement, Angie?
I don't think we have any announcements today.
Okay, no problem. All right, so we have some people in the room. I'll say who's here. We have Jim, we have Angie, Barbara, Christine, Daniel, David, Yana, Luba, Stephanie's iPhone, Susan, Wendy, and myself, Karen Newman, and we have more people coming in. So we'll start with some blessings, and then we'll get some requests.
Well, in my room, I have Margie, James.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot. It's been so long since you have people in your room. Jim has people in his room again. So Jim,
Yes.
who's in your room?
In my room today, I have Margie, James, and Safira.
Great. Well, welcome to all of you too. And hello to everyone in the YouTube chat. Okay, so we'll start with the blessings. Yana will do a blessing, Barbara, and who else asked to do a blessing? Well, we can have Angie do a blessing, and if anybody wants to do one at the end, then they can just put their name in it. They'll do it at the end. So go ahead. We'll start with Yana.
Okay. Hi everyone. This is the Arcturians again. Terneka hante kuwa tana te kuwa te kuanta tane ke ieha harte te kunua tu e kianta tana kai te ite akante oko ortu ua kanta ie he tua te nekua ai te no kuwa tatanai ke te teata hasta tu e a te ko tu akante akanai te oku or ast nakahata te oku iaha aitene a te yotoa astanu akante anu astenu. Thank you.
We are seeing that many that come are not seeking any longer, but listening to find out answers, listening to be edified, listening for information that might help them in their missions or move them forward. We are looking to see that some may still be looking for answers to who they are and what is their means and purposes and missions. But in this day and age, it is time for action. It is time for the things to move beyond stagnation and beyond just wondering, but to actually move into the battlefield if that is where you need to be, or into the limelight if that is where you need to be. God is watching and doing his best to bring you into the place where you need to be.
Okay, Barbara.
Shatata kia nakoshoa. Shitipikia nakashiasho. Kiapataka nakisiata koshoa. Kishiata manakiata hoati. Kipiata kashaniata kosho. Kipiashaka nakihiata koroti. Kimiata hata kiniata koshoahi. Tiamakada kiata kananitiata. Kuroto hiata. Takadadiata tugotoata. Blessings and much love.
Acknowledge your God. Raise up your hearts to him. Give him the glory and honor and praise that he deserves. Remember to always do this so that he may feel your joy, feel your understanding and compassion and love, and so that he is able to work with you and bring you into a greater joy and a greater feeling of understanding. It is not always necessary to feel God, but he wants to make that known to you in this day and age.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. And Angie, did you want to do a blessing?
Sure.
Ati ia no I chichia awartu. Hana a shashania te kea anoa. I emanita urotiki chishishi noa. Pukuara ikia anenia keta ara uchishi. Marakata ara.
Send healing to one another and to the world. Make sure that every day you are praying for those in need and praying for the world at large. For if you stay within your own confines, how will the world change? It is time for change in the world, and you are the catalysts.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so let me go through the requests here that we have. Let me see. We have a request for the Hathors. We have someone that can bring us an update of the government meetings, and Brenda was also requested by someone in the YouTube chat. Isis or Thoth, Khnum, the Egyptian ram-headed god, or the Galactic Dragon Collective. And let's see, was that all the requests? And Elijah from Angie, I think we, well, we didn't say it, but I think we know he's coming. We assume he's coming. So.
Okay.
And
Very
someone
well.
asked for Angel Samuel or Vishnu, if possible.
Vishnu or
Archangel Samuel, yeah.
All right.
Okay. Let me pin you.
All right, very good. Let me see who is coming. And everybody be in prayer, be in good thoughts and positivity. And thank you for being here. Much love
So
to
nice
you
to
all.
see people in your room. Just it makes us feel like it's normal. Life's normal.
Life's normal again.
Okay.
Yes, one moment, please. Greetings. I am Elijah. Today I want to speak to you about something very close to my heart and very close to God's heart. This is a day and age where there is much going on, and there's much trouble, and there's much isolation, and there's much disunity. There's much separation between families and friends and things of this nature. I want you to understand that you have been affected by this as well. Many of you are having trouble loving those that are close to you. You're having trouble feeling that sense of closeness once again. You're having that trouble trying to help those that are in need, and even in your family or in your friend circle, because of all these different negativities that have come through. Let me tell you this. I want you to start reaching out. I want you to start knowing that God loves you. I want you to start knowing the love of God within your heart. Because without that love, how are you ever going to love anyone else? If you don't love yourself and love God, you cannot help anyone else in the world. Not truly. Oh, sure, you can reach out in duty to help people. But people see that. People know when you're helping out of duty and not out of love. You must love what you do. You must love when you help. You must love when you encourage. sincerity and truth, wisdom and understanding, compassion. These words I say all the time, but they must come from you through God. God comes through you to speak this way. I know, and many of you don't like the word God, or you don't like the word Father, you don't like, it doesn't matter what word you use for him. It matters the love that is within you. It matters the love that he gives you. It matters the love that comes and shines from you. For as an example of God, you must shine in some way. You must be able to show your love to people other than just those that are close to you and next to you. But you must truly want to help, not out of duty, but out of love. Not out of something, oh, I have to do that, but out of love. Not that you are going to look at them and smile with that sense of, I have to do this, but you don't know that I don't love you, but they will know. Love is something that shines. Love is something that is energetic. And it will show in your step. It will show in your voice. It will show in your thoughts. It will show in the way of your actions. It will show. You may have great dreams for yourself about helping others and moving forward with missions and things of this nature. And it does not matter where your mindset is about this or that or the other thing, but it does matter where your mind is set about other people. It does matter where your mind is set when it comes to helping other people. Remember, you are some of God's chosen. You are some of God's elite, if you choose to believe that. Many have different beliefs about many different things. Bring it into your life the way that it makes sense to you. I am not preaching to a specific group of people. I am talking to everyone of all faiths and beliefs. Although I do come to represent the return of Jesus as well, because that is what it is said in the Old Testament and the New. But I am also here for the world. I am here for God to speak through me. I am here to bring God's message to the people of the world. If you do not believe so, or do believe other ways, then let this message come in a generic way. Love, love, love. It is the most powerful of all things. You may say, faith can move mountains. That is amazing. But without love, why move the mountain? What will it prove? That you have power? That God is with you? If you do not show them love and you move the mountain, they will be impressed by your power and energy and may follow for a while. But when they realize that you have no love, they realize that it's a hollow, empty belief. You may say, how can you move mountains if you don't love God? You can. It is written that you can do whatever you wish to do in the right frame of mind, with the right faith, but love is more powerful. It can change the universe. The universe needs love. The universe has little love left at some places. Your world is in turmoil, but love can heal that. So let God come in. I know some of you say, how can I let him come in? He's so far away. He's so distant. So you have to understand that he is making an effort at this time to be with his people. He is making an effort to be with his people. You have gifts. You have understandings. You are opening up to a whole new world of power and understanding and love and gifts. And you know that God is behind that. Allow him to come in and take away the fears, take away the doubts, take away the negativity, and bring you up. Talk to him every day, all the time. I don't know how more to explain how much he loves you, but to say, do your work with love. Do the things that you do with love. I know there are some things that you only do out of duty, out of responsibility, but change that. Love everything that you're doing, and it will change the way you do it. Love what you are doing, and it will change the way you do it. This message may not come to everyone in a way that they will understand immediately. But allow it to sink in, allow it to become part of who you are, and you will be uplifted by it. God be with all of you. He loves each and every one. There is none that cannot be helped or saved by God. There is none that are hopeless. Although you may say that. He's hopeless, but it's not true. Everyone has hope. Everyone can come to God. Everyone can know him. Keep that in mind as you are speaking to those you do not know, or those that you have found to be unfriended by you, or to be less than what they used to be to you. Bring back love. Shine your light in all places. Take away the darkness with your light, with the light of God within you. I want you all to shine. Much love to you. And many blessings to you as well.
Thank you, Elijah.
Healing is there for those that need it. I wanted to add that at the end because many of you are stopped by mental and physical problems, and healing is there for you. Healing is there for you. Much love, my people.
Much love to you.
Greetings, I am Takur.
Welcome to Kerr. It's been a long, long time.
I know. And someone asked about the government meetings and things of that nature, and so they volunteered me to come. I'm here also as a representative of many others as well. I know that many of you have heard many different things about government meetings, and many of you have been there in the astral. This is a wonderful thing because you are able to be in the presence of your governments at this time, even though you may not remember it. Some of you do. There are those that have been there that do remember things. But let me tell you what has been accomplished. First of all, first contact, as you may know it or understand it, has already begun. There have been several different strategies for first contact, and one was to land ships around the world. One was to take charge of the technology around the world. Some of it was doing this, some doing that. What is been agreed upon is this. Those that have been grandfathered in from the time of separation in 2005 or in that area, I'm not sure of the exact date because this was a contract between Earth and the galactic governments. So I don't know the exact date for that. And it was done a couple times. So the thing is, from that date on, there were those that could not leave the planet and they were alien, and those that could not come to the planet because that was the agreement. Whoever was grandfathered in stays on the planet, and whoever was not on the planet, they stay out. None will be going back and forth. So those that have been grandfathered in through the time of separation are now starting to come forth and identify themselves to their friends and even to their families. Some of them are aliens that have been there for a long time, and they're showing themselves to the world. They're showing themselves to people that can be trusted, showing themselves to people that they know believe in aliens, UFOs, and in other things outside this realm. This has already started. And so there are many of, well, I shouldn't say many, several hundred that have been shown already a friend or someone that is alien to them. I know that is not many, but it is a start. And as this continues, the word will spread that these people have been seen. They may even tell who they are, but at this point, they have been sworn to secrecy, not to say who they are, but that they can tell someone that they are here. And these people are sane and trustworthy. So they are not delusional or not people of that you can't trust, but these are very solid individuals. And so this is the beginning of first contact. It will spread throughout the world little by little. At first, some were afraid when they saw that a friend or a family member was alien. But this is the way that it is, and they will come forth. The other thing I wanted to mention was this. As that happens, the government knows about this. The government is understanding that those that have been grandfathered in will start to do this, but they are not happy about it. And they do not know who the aliens are that are grandfathered in for the most part. And so they do not know where to go to find them. And so this is why it's not said the name of the person that will reveal themselves. It is working. There are some groups that are now talking about it. There are some groups that are now a part of that. There are some groups that are now more anxious about first contact than ever before, in a good sense. There's good anxiety and bad anxiety. There are humans that are understanding that they don't want aliens around because they have been taught that aliens are negative, but that is because of the media and the different ways that they are portrayed in movies and things of this nature. But things are changing, and people are understanding that this is a new day and age for all things to change. I could go on, but I think that I would entertain questions from the group so that we can actually move ahead and answer the questions that need to be answered.
Well, believe it or not, I don't have one question listed here from anybody. So I'll take a question from the chat, even though you were requested.
Well, there's a question in the room here.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead.
Are there people?
Come to the microphone.
Are there people that are here that are aliens but do not know that they are aliens?
There are some that are here that do not know that they are aliens yet, because they have not been awakened to the understanding of who they really are. They are conflicted, though. I would say those that are aliens on your planet that do not know that they are aliens yet are very conflicted with who they are. They're coming to an understanding that something is different. Do you understand that?
I do.
So yes, there are some that do not know that, because they need to understand it in a way that is they're able to deal with. If they cannot deal with it, then they cannot know. Because if they do not deal with it properly, that can be a negative for first contact instead of a positive for first contact. Do you understand?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, there's a question from Yana. Go ahead, Yana.
Hi, Takara. How are you?
I am wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. I had a question about the hybrid children. How about the hybrid children? Because they are not grandfathered in, but they carry human DNA, so they are belonging to humanity in a way.
Yes. The hybrid children are not part of, well, you see, the time of separation was a long time ago, 2005 or in that area. So it is that hybrid children are mostly on this side of the veil, or this side of your realm, and not on the planet. There are a few hybrid children on the planet, but they are they were grandfathered in as well. They were born before the baby boom of hybrid children. Let's put it that way. But now they will be able to know who they are as well.
Okay. To ask it blunt, am I of alien descent?
I will tell you this. Yes, there is alien in you, definitely. But to be able to reveal yourself as an alien, no. You would not be able to change your looks and face to show someone else that you have alien within you. The aliens that I speak of will be able to show actually their alien look to others.
Okay. Okay, I understand. Yes, thank you for that.
Not that there are not many alien and creator being and all kinds of things out there that are doing work for God right now and have fractals in people and all these different interesting things, but it is that those that were grandfathered in as aliens have taken on a human look, and some of them have been there in human bodies for a long time.
Okay. Yeah, so they definitely have alien, not only alien DNA that you can track down, but they also have the looks that
they can
visible.
show that who they really are.
Okay.
And they would only do that for those that are completely unafraid of seeing it.
Okay. Thank you.
And so that's why it's a slow process. It's a slow process because not everyone's ready for that. Some people would be frightened to death by somebody showing who they really are as an alien. But others are now ready. A few hundred. That's not very many, but it will grow.
Yeah. So I have another question that's not related to this exactly, but there is persistent talk about the revelation or the event, or it's called by, and there's a lot of talk about things that are happening in 2000, and then it doesn't happen. But this one is persistent, and it has a sort of this is coming, and this has to do with a lot of aligning of solar activity and a lot of that can bring in a great shift of humanity at once.
Yes.
So
there are these events coming. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think the date of that is being postponed, depending on what we are doing as a collective, because everything has to be in a certain alignment. But from your perspective, if you could mention it, what timeline would you give this?
Well, you have to understand, you are correct. The collective consciousness does control what happens on the planet as a collective consciousness. What is most in the collective consciousness now is attention to war and attention to things of great fear and unrest, especially the people that were dislodged or dislocated from the Ukraine area to different parts of the world. This is being seen as something very, very terrible and very evil by some people's standards. And so it is the world thought process that is determining what's happening now. And yes, they also can control and determine how the sun works and acts. How can that be? Because you do not realize how strong the mind is. Not yet. I think some of you are starting to realize that your gifts, such as telepathy and light language and being able to do certain things that are not regular, like bilocate, are gifts that are beyond this realm at this time through most of the populace. So as you are able to understand that you are getting into a different era, a different energy of God, then you will understand how that energy can move throughout all places. And the sun is being controlled also by humanity, also by other species, and also by the sun itself has sentience as well. So it is all these determining factors, or all these things that are determined by all the factors that will bring about the changes. And those changes are not far from now. And change is the word of the day. Yes. There are changes happening constantly on your planet in the last few years, but more change is still coming. And this is tumultuous because people cannot handle change so quickly sometimes, but the world understanding demands it.
There are other partners involved, like Earth itself is a sentient being, and the solar councils are connected to other solar systems that are ascending in cohesion with each other. So how is it that the humans are so important, just the population of this one planet, because there's a whole aligning going on of galactic shifts?
Yes, this planet is important. Let me tell you why. First of all, you have come to a place in the universal prophecies that your body, mind, soul, and spirit are in a certain kind of alignment to be able to help those in the universe. Now, yes, your DNA can help those out here with becoming more immune to certain diseases, can build up their physicalities, and in some ways help with emotion and mental stabilities. You may not think of yourself in that way, your peoples, as being able to do that, but all the blended DNA within you is pushing toward that end. And so as DNA is given to certain species or given to certain areas to make serums to help the universe and to the species within it, it is also helping them to know that the prophecies are aligned with this planet. This planet is to rise in a different way than any other. Although the ascension process will bring you to the next level, of course, that is the idea of all ascensions. But this one will be slightly different, but I cannot tell you how quite yet. But the prophecies say that the way of this ascension will change how the universe views God and the way they see and understand him.
I just don't, I'm not totally grasping it yet, but this will find its place. Thank you so much for clearing this up, Tukur.
You're welcome. And I'm sure some of this is very cryptic, and I don't mean it to be, but it is the way it must be spoken, because you cannot know too much, because there are those that are listening. There are those that know what things are to come, and there are those that want to stop it. And if I were to give directions on what is coming, they will be much more informed and be able to stop it faster. And I do not want that.
I understand. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for a blessing.
Too. Yes, blessings to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Barbara has a question. Go ahead, Barbara.
Hi, Takar. I just wanted to say that my question was answered with your conversation with Jana. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
There is a
thank you.
question in the room as well.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Come to the microphone.
Hello, Takir.
Greetings.
I'm thinking there must be a movement to change the separation agreement, to end it. Do you know of one?
There has always been legislation to change it in the galactic government. But what is the hardest part is that it must be agreed upon by the planet as a whole, at least a great percentage of it. Now, I think that percentage is 75% of your planet must agree to change that in order for it to go back into a time, what they would call a normal, a time where people can come and go as they please. But that will come in time already. We see that happening a little by little. The governments realize that they cannot hold it off or stave it off forever. So they are making preparations for the changes that are to come. But some of those preparations are not positive. And some of them are very positive, depending on where they are. The South American people are actually very positive about interaction with aliens, at least the Chileans, the people in Peru and things of that nature. They are very positive and are able to just allow it. They're not that frightened of it. But other places have great fears.
Thank you. So what are their requirements to end it? Are they looking for technology from the aliens? What are some of the reasons they've given that they're not willing to end it yet?
The reasons why they don't want to end it is because they feel like they would lose power and prosperity, meaning those that are in power and are able to rule the planet, the very high leaderships, feel that if they lose their power to these aliens because they are much greater, they will lose also their prosperity. They will be taken down from their highest places. They are more concerned about themselves than their peoples.
Right.
They're more concerned about what is going to happen with the leadership of the world than they are with what the peoples want or desire.
And I heard that, I'm sorry, were you finished at that moment?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I read that one of the reasons for the separation agreement was to have control of slave trade of humans to other planets. Because before that separation agreement, there were other alien nations taking humans off the earth and using them as trade. And the human governments decided, or the secret ones, decided that they want to have that trade monopoly. And so they created the separation agreement as one reason.
Well,
Do you know about that? Is that any truth in that?
there is some truth to that, but it is not as simple as you stated it. But yes, they do want all control. And with the separation agreement, the humans have all the control because the galactic government will back up what one world desires. If the governments of the world desire that no one comes in and out, except by what they want to do, then that is acceptable. However, the galactic government is not associated with that bargaining, that trade, and they know of it, but they cannot stop it. And there are many reasons why they cannot, but it is not as bad as you think it is. There are reasons why they do it, but yes, that's not one of the main purposes of the separation agreement, but it was an outcome of it.
Thank you. Okay, before I go, sometime before the end, when you leave, can you give us some really good news about our planet? Something
Yes.
really good happening?
All right, very
Thank you.
well. There are good changes as well, because as people are awakened, as people are becoming more positive and getting in touch with who they really are, which is what God wants them to be, it is a very positive thing now to that many have found this already and are in joy and happiness. I know many of them are being fought to keep them down, but they are doing a tremendous job of overcoming this negativity.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Luba has a question. Go ahead, Luba.
Hello, thank you. Hi, Decker.
Greetings.
Greetings. I have a question about reptilians, who they are, where they come from, and if they are race. This is question number one.
If they are right?
Race. What
race?
race? Mhm.
Yes, they are a race. Not a human race, but they are a race of people from Andromeda. Andromeda is where most reptilians come from, because it seems like Andromeda is somewhere that is reptilians seem to rise faster in that kind of atmosphere, the kind of chemical atmosphere that is existing in Andromeda. Also, there are some reptilians in other places as well, such as there are species of reptilians behind Orion. There are some reptilian species in the Pleiades. They're not quite space-worthy yet, but they are coming along, and there are reptilians everywhere. And several different spots in the galactic government are held by reptilian and insectoid representatives. At least 4 that I know of are reptilian and 2 are insectoids. So that is to say that they are quite numerous, especially from the Andromeda area.
Seems like
And
they are very powerful.
They are powerful. Reptilians have come a long way. The Aliashandai Zendi and the friendly reptilians have matured and mellowed and become more positive over the years as they understand when meeting other civilizations, what these other civilizations are like, and they brought some of that understanding to their civilization, because of course they were very rigid and cold-blooded and things of this nature at first, but now they are starting to understand how to use the emotions that they feel, because even reptilians and insectoids and those do have emotions, do have thought processes of sympathy and conscience and things of this nature. And so these things are starting to evolve in a great way with some of these groups. Now, some of them, such as the Zeta reptilians, Zeta Greys, and things of that nature, they have not found that kind of evolution within them. Their emotions grew a little darker, actually, as time went on, because they focused more on power, honor, and things that are very less emotional. They do not make decisions with the heart. They do not make decisions with anything but logic and conquest in mind. So they must understand their other parts of their emotions as well in their societies. Showing these other emotions tend to show weakness. However, as you note on your planet as well, there are those born onto your planet now with higher IQs, higher understanding, higher acceptance of all the things that are there, reptilians are finding their children also being born in different ways, with greater emotional understanding, with greater emotional acceptance. And they are fighting with them to keep them more reptilian-like, if you will, and not let these emotions spill out because they are not considered honorable.
Would you be able to tell us percentage-wise how many reptilians are still on planet Earth?
Of those that were grandfathered in, at least 20% were reptilians.
I have a last question. I heard that, again, in my country, Slovakia, previously Czechoslovakia,
Yes.
they will mandate vaccination sometimes in a fall. I just heard it today from my sister.
They will
what is-
mandate it?
Yeah, and that how do you see the future if people will stand up? What's going on? This seems like same thing what happened in Austria and Israel as well, which is very upsetting for me. But if you can spare a few words, please. Thank you.
This is something that governments will do. They will try to do this, but they will not succeed. And just as in many different countries, though many have protested and stood up against it and refused to take the vaccine, there were many that will still do so. It will
Is
not,
there?
they will not be able to get everyone.
Mhm. If I may, this is really, really last question. Is there any reptilians in that government of Slovakia? If they have influence? Yeah, exactly.
There is reptilians in government, yes. In many areas, especially Europe, Asia, and Russia, and all those areas around there, it is that there is a great deal of reptilians in that area, yes. There are reptilians everywhere in the world, of course, but I would say in Europe and Asia are the highest amount.
I just heard that they probably, I'm going to repeat myself, they would like to eliminate Slavic people. I'm not sure what is it, if it's true or not, what's going on there. Yeah.
No, they are not trying to actually get rid of Slavic people at all. They're just trying to make them obey because they have strong wills and strong minds. You may feel like they're trying to get rid of you, but they're actually trying to force you into obedience, force you into a thought process that they can manage more easily.
Thank you, Teker. Thank you so very much. Much love and blessings to you. Thank you.
You're welcome. They
Thank
do
you.
not really want to eliminate any particular species. The melting pot effect on the earth is a positive thing for everyone, including the aliens and including all those that are on your planet that do have control of it. So they don't want to eliminate any populations. They would like to see the population of the planet go down, but they would want it to be evenly distributed in the way. That's why the disease came out the way it did. Disease does not pick a certain population, but it picks many to kill. And they would be evenly distributed, or should be evenly distributed around the planet. But that did not succeed the way that they thought it would. And I do not think that they will try that particular plan again very soon because it's not really working.
Okay, thank you so much. Christine has a question. Go ahead, Christine.
Hello, Teker.
Greetings.
It is so nice to hear from you.
Thank you.
I was going to ask, since the aliens live a longer period of time than humans on Earth, how difficult it is for them to keep passing themselves on as legitimate humans when our technology for tracking people, you know, through Social Security, through IDs, through this and that, how difficult it is for them to.
It is not difficult. They will, after someone passes, they can use the body that passes before they can transport them out of the areas that they passed. Especially they like the younger bodies, but they will use older bodies as well to move and then move to another part of the world. So it is that person still exists. They will change information on birth date and different things of that nature and they will acquire a social security number from the way that the matrix works with different things, so they can actually manipulate a lot of different things.
Is that sort of like what we would call walk-ins?
Some of them are walk-ins, but only by permission, because you cannot just walk in and take over without a great deal of delusional activities going on. People will think they're going crazy. People will not understand. People will act out. And so only with permission do they walk in.
So walk-ins actually are different in that the being is still there and alive and
to some extent. There are occasions when they ask the being for to go into a subconscious state for a certain period of time, maybe 10, 15, or 20 years. And that is agreeable to them because they weren't having such a good life after all. And that when they come out, that their life would be much better because the being that's walking in will make their life more successful, will make their life easier, will make do their mission and accomplish things for them that they could not do for themselves.
So in the other sense, not a walk-in, that person's spirit has left completely and that person died.
Well, with a walk-in, the consciousness goes to the subconscious so that it is still dormant within the person. And when they leave the body, that they will bring that back to the consciousness with a full memory of all the things that were done in the meantime. Of course, you couldn't just bring somebody back and have them start from the beginning. So they will have all the consciousness of what the alien has done. So it will not be like death. They may die soon after, or be old, but they will be successful. They will be happy. They'll be ready to live a little bit before they go. Now, the ones that died and they take their bodies, it's just a body. The consciousness, the spirit, the soul is gone.
Is that sort of like because aliens or some aliens can change their appearance, that it's more like changing their appearance so that the body really is dead and whatever? And
well, there are some that do not use any bodies other than the one they started with. They just they move to different parts of the world. They do different things. They keep the body young. There are ways to do that with certain species as well. They have many different ways to manipulate how they do what they do. So if they are grandfathered in and they are getting very old, or they need a change, or they need their mission in that area is done, they will just make up a reason, find a way to manipulate that they are moving, that they're going somewhere else, and then they will do it. And then when they are that somewhere else, they will change and become someone else completely.
Wow, what a
Now-
wonderful world we live in.
Well, the thing is, there's many ways to manipulate it. You may say, well, what about their friends back here? They knew them. Usually, if they're an alien, they have few friends and they have few associates that get really close. So no one will really care about if they leave or not, except maybe one or two people.
I see. Thank you.
They're very independent.
Thank you
Very
very
well.
much, Kerr.
Thank you so much. Angie has a question. Go ahead, Angie.
Thank you. Greetings to Kerr. Much love.
Greetings.
My question is about, like Girkfakir and the alliance that is there with Area 53. Is
Yeah.
there any progress? Is there any, like, where is Girkfakir on this front? And where, in your opinion, is the government?
All right. That's Girkfakir is not involved in any part of the Area 53 things. That we are here to help humans with aligning with first contact and things of that nature. And if this helps, then we will help them to understand what Area 53 is all about. But at this time, there are some legislations that are still pending for these areas to be able to move forward. And right now they are at a standstill because they cannot agree on certain points. So it is that it would be a very good first contact kind of thing in some ways, because the government will understand what aliens are like that are spouses with humans. If everybody understands what the Area 53 is, it's where the meeting place for humans that are married to aliens would meet in a secret place so that they can see their spouses. But many things about this have not been taken care of yet, and so it remains unknown when that program will open.
Thank you, because I was bringing the first contact portion into that, and that's
Yes.
why I'm wondering, where Girkfakir is that, and what that, but not having any affiliation, I understand. And the next, go ahead.
No, we are not really affiliated with that program. That program was brought about by other species and your government.
Thank you. The government meetings, have they started? Is there one coming? What is the date?
It was postponed due to the war. It was supposed to start at the end of April, but it did not. And so it's postponed because there are too many things going on in the world that have to be taken care of by leadership. China and United States are at odds. Ukraine and Russia are at odds. In the Middle East, there's many conflicts going on. And so there's much turmoil at this time. And so world meetings were halted for the moment.
All right, thank you very much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Hello?
Hello, just sorry, it took a second to unmute. Barbara does have a question. Go ahead, Barbara.
Greetings.
Thank you. To Kerr, my question is, you mentioned 20% of the reptilians have been grandfathered in. Now, is Eliashon Zindi one of those?
they have some representatives on the planet as well as Zeta reptilians, Zaza reptilians, friendly reptilians, and Aleashondizendis. 4 different species of reptilians are there on the Earth, grandfathered in, but unfortunately, most of them are Zeta reptilians.
Okay, what about Sparrowcus? Was he grandfathered in? He's been here
No,
for a long time.
he is in the ship above the planet. He is not grandfathered.
Not on the Earth. Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Sorry. Okay. Let's see. Wait, who's after Barbara? Barbara, then Susan. Go ahead, Susan.
Hello, Takur. I was wondering if, recently I was connected with an Egyptian ram-headed god named Khnum, and also with the Galactic Dragon Collective. And I'm just wondering if you had any information about either of them that you could provide.
Khnum is from ancient. He is an ancient god. Hello. Khnum is an ancient god-like being from another planet.
One moment, please. One moment, Takar. Let me just mute Barbara. She doesn't realize she's unmuted. Thank you.
So,
Okay.
and he is a ram-headed being. Now, it is that many aliens were present at the time of the Egyptian realm, and they were traders. They were associates with different parts of Orion and Pleiades, Sirius, and other places. But those are the 3 main ones at this point. During that time, there was also other aliens such as Anunnaki and things in that area also, but they were actually doing the governing of the planet at that time. Anunnaki were just doing experimentation on DNA, etc. So as Khnum is someone of a deity, he is seen as a deity by the people of Egypt because he had great powers. He could move from one place to another, and the people knew who the gods were and knew who those that were not human were. I think some of them started to understand that they were walking among aliens at some point, but they would never say so in public. They would only say so behind closed doors, because some of them say these are just people from other worlds. They do not have godlike personalities. They are not loving and kind and all these things that they would associate with a positive God, but they would associate maybe with a negative God. So they had to understand that some of these gods were, or some of these aliens were God-like, but were not gods. So Khnum is someone that came from other realms. He came from somewhere in the Orion realm area, but he was not an Orion. But he came through the Stargate from Orion. The Orion Stargate, I should say.
Okay, awesome. And I was also wondering, I was going to ask a question about the Stargates as well. As far as I know, I think the last we spoke, there was 2 Stargates that were repaired and functional.
Yes.
And I know in Astral, I assist with that type of work, and setting up, I think, individuals' DNA to,
Yes.
be transported through the Stargates. I'm just wondering, are there any additional Stargates that are now open, or how is that work going right now?
Yes, there is another Stargate about to open. Actually, 2 more that are very close. Of course, they worked very hard on the Egyptian Stargate, the one at this right beside the Sphinx. that one is going to be open soon, and the one in Puma Punka.
So where is Puma Punka? In the
Bolivia.
world? In Bolivia. Okay, great. All right. Thank you very much, Shakur. Much love to you.
I may not have pronounced that correctly. It's Puma Punka, I believe. It is
Okay.
where they had their one of their great landing strips was there as well. It was a great area in the past for trade and commerce.
Okay, wonderful. Good to know that there's some progress there. So much love to you.
Those
And-
should be open within the year, I would think.
And will we as humans be able to use them at some point, or would that occur like after first contact where we'd be able to go off
The
planet
Egyptian
to
Stargate is the number one, is Stargate number one, the first one that was created. Puma Punka was, I believe, number 4.
okay.
And yes, eventually humans will be able to use the Stargates, but only after they put their DNA into it, and after the Stargates are completely repaired. You understand that that technology of Stargates is thousands of years old, and updating them takes some time because there are new and better ways to do Stargate travel, and they're updating the Stargates because there's just so much new and more efficient technology there.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Thank you
Good.
very much. Much blessings to you.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
so much. Joan has a question. Go ahead, Joan.
Greetings, Tucker.
Greetings.
Well, you speak about the walk-in, but can you tell me about the difference between the dying self and rebirth versus the walk-in?
The walk-in has to come in by permission. It must have the permission of the person to walk in. Usually they pick someone who is extremely depressed or unsuccessful. Sometimes they even take the body of, they will ask someone who's homeless to walk into them, and then they will go and come up in some other city or society and change that person completely. The ones that use the bodies will sometimes just wait for someone younger to pass, and before they are buried or whatever, they take the body out and put something else in there. I don't exactly know how they do that, but I've understood that they have done it many times, and then they use the body of that younger individual and revitalize it.
So the dying itself
And they
and
will,
a
yes,
rebirth is almost the same as walk-in.
similar, but not the same. But they take over the body when the person has died. Yes. And then they just take and go somewhere else and start a new life and start a new social security number. They have ways to change that in the system. They're very highly skilled at technology and manipulation of it. So doing this for them is not a difficult thing.
Can you tell me about what activation I did in Mount Shasta when I went there? Is that a Stargate?
You did, yes. There are a couple different things that did for you. You did put your DNA into the Stargate that is there. There is a Shasta Stargate, definitely. And also you were given something by the Telosians who live there, Agarthans. It was either Agarthan or Telosian. They are both the same race of people. are both the same race, I should just say. But they live in one's to the north and one's to the south. And they gave you something of their energy and their DNA, I believe.
Oh, I see.
Did you feel it?
Yes. Yeah. It raised more my frequency, my vibration.
Absolutely, it will.
So what am I doing in the meeting? Because I know I went to my dream state last night.
What were you doing in your astral?
Yes, at the
Last
meeting.
night, the other thing that's really important is what you were doing last night, and that's the grid work. The grids of the earth need to be kept clear. Keeping the grids clear is difficult because there's always something trying to block them. They know what's coming and they want to keep the grids blocked so they cannot be used properly, but people and beings in the astral will help keep it clear.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello? Okay, was that everything? Your phone, you have the, great, okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't cutting you off. All right. Wendy has a question. Go ahead, Wendy.
Yes, hello. So
Greetings.
I have greetings. Much love to you, Takur, and all who assist you. So the question that I have is that I've been having astral dreams where I am in meetings and like there was a big dark conference room behind me. And then I was thanking a very tall woman who had like shoulder length brown hair and saying, I'm so pleased to meet you and something. So I have no idea. But the other thing that I think is tying into this is that I am seeing flies and bugs that are AI that are around me very frequently now. And so I'm wondering if this is the experience because of how the energies are and that they're trying to learn. Maybe I've invited them to say, come and learn.
Well, first of all, the meetings that you were at and attending, there are some representatives to Galactic and Universal committees that come in the astral because that's the only way they can attend at this time. Now, it is possible to attend these conferences if you're in an avatar. Avatars are created for those that come into these conferences because they were selected for them. There are only few of these beings on the earth, perhaps 100. So if you are seeing yourself at meetings and meeting people, that means you are in an avatar at some galactic meeting or universal meeting. That is the first part. The second part about the flies and bugs, AI does have ways of bringing understanding to humans through hive consciousness in some ways. And so they will use more hive conscious insects to work with them, such as bees and those kinds of things. Flies are also very good for them because they only live a short while. Usually they can collect a lot of data in a short period of time. And so they would be less suspected to being in a fly than some other insects, such as caterpillars or something like that. So flies are ideal for them. Plus they have several different eyes. Flies have many eyes and can see in multiple directions. So that is why they use flies for their AI use.
I see. And so my experience has been that they come out of nowhere and disappear out of nowhere. So they're like showing up and disappearing. So, and I see them when they come and go.
The thing is,
yeah.
The thing is, they're just looking in, they're studying, they're trying to understand what changes and evolutions enlightened beings are going through on your planet. It is a time when you're in the upper third part of the density. So you're in third density, but the very upper parts of it, in the 80 percentile range, just before you start moving into a several more percentages into being able to just see the next density as well as the third density. So some people have already reached that level, but it is that they cannot stay there forever. But also you have to understand these percentages come very, very slowly. And so they may stay in that state for the rest of their lives. So, but anyway, yes, flies are just very good for that.
Thank you. And then a question about the Dragon Collective from Venus. It's Just Ray, which I've just been introduced to. I've been hearing them, but telepathically, but it's my first time that I've really had contact with them. So is there any information that you can give me? Am I from Venus originally? Is that my origin?
Venus has more than one species on it at this time. You will note that they are not on the surface of the planet. The surface of the planet has a very, very little atmosphere. It's almost not even there. But inside the planet, there are many different species. Even though it's a small planet, it is one with a great deal of technology, a great deal of, how should I put it? Inclusion with many different species and alien types. So yes, you might be aware of them due to having some connection with Venusians in the past.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate your insight. And in parting, if you could advise any of us that are moving toward this 80% and higher, what best benefits us to make those steps in advancement? Thank you so much, and blessings and much love to you.
Okay, those that are reaching into the higher realms, be patient. All humans want to rush things. Every single one that I have talked to says, I want it now. I want it now. I don't want to wait. I want what I need now. So, and that is not the way it happens. You must grow into your gifts. You must grow into the understanding of how they are used. You must grow into what can be that you do not even know about these gifts, and you must understand that you are someone that must be aware that patience is part of this.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm just going to pop over to some of the questions in the YouTube chat. There's a couple people asking for healing and for body scans. Is that something that you can do, or is that something that we should ask another being?
No, our medical area is set up to do scanning and healing. That is Tepe and his area. I will ask him to be with those that have requested.
Thank you. And then, yeah, that was the biggest questions. I just saw a couple people asking for healing and for body scans.
Very well.
So
they will do
okay,
so.
All right. Kat has a question. Go ahead, Kat. Oh, did you want to say something else? I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, if there's anything that is necessary to be conveyed by Tepe to the people, I will let you know.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Kat has a question. Go ahead, Kat.
Hi, Tucker.
Greetings.
Greetings. What was the aliens' business in back in time when they were coming with ships and were glorified as gods?
All right, let me tell you what that was all about. First of all, Earth was the perfect place. It's at the end of the galaxy. It's not in the center of the galaxy, but where your particular area of the galaxy is far out from the center. And so it is sort of remote to the big populations of the galaxy. And plus the fact that when you're at the edge of a galaxy, there is a great space between galaxies to get to the next galaxy. So it was rather remote. That is a good place where they can meet for treaties. The Orion Wars were going on at that time, and they were wanting to have peace between these different species and civilizations. So they chose Earth to meet for treaties and things of that nature. So it was at the edge of the galaxy. So other things were trade. It was an incredible place to trade, especially for those that were intergalactic. Intergalactic trade is rare, but because there's not that much in between the galaxies, they have set up some stations and things of that nature. But you need to use a Stargate or fold space or do something of that nature to get to the other galaxies, because there's such a long distance with nothing in it to get to there. So it is that only a few kinds of ships can do that. So the traders, the ones that want to trade with this galaxy from other galaxies, also met with Earth at that time. And as you know, the galaxy is revolving. They just happen to be in the right coordination with the spin of the galaxy where Earth was, and their galaxy as the spin of their galaxy was, so that travel was easier. So it was a great time for them to do trade and that kind of thing as well. But it was mostly used for the Orion Wars, people coming there to do treaties, for them to do talks, for them to negotiate. There were several different species involved in the Orion War back then, at least 3 of note. And so sometimes treaties were very difficult because you had to negotiate with more than one species at a time, and they would never agree on certain things. Especially there was one planet in the Orion system that was had a lot of treasures, gold, uranium, things of this nature in this certain small planet that was uninhabited, and several of them wanted to claim it because it would have been, it just was vast with all different kinds of minerals and things that were needed for spaceships and for energy and things of this nature. And so that was one of the things they were fighting over, as well as other things. But that was one of the things they were fighting over.
So, so why they were interfering with humans, like modifying, creating?
Well, that was the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki were here to actually do DNA work. The people from the Orion Wars were not here to do that. But the Anunnaki were more in the Sumerian area, the Sumerian civilization, and the Greek, and those areas had more Anunnaki than the Egyptian. Of course, the Egyptians knew about the Anunnaki, but the Anunnaki was there doing more of DNA experimentation than they were anything else.
So it was just science, let's say.
Yes, Anunnakis were science, whereas the Egyptian culture was trade, treaties, understanding. That's why the Egyptian culture grew so quickly and was so advanced, is because there were so many different species there to contribute to what was going on in the actual area. And being that it was a desert area as well, it actually wasn't fully a desert area when they started, or it was when they started, but not when they ended. It was starting to come out of a desert time into a more green kind of planet, but it went back to desert again. But the thing is, in those days, desert areas, some species did not want to go to desert areas because the desert areas on other planets were very, very dangerous. They had high reptilian involvement, snake, a very high naga involvement, a very high danger included, because it was a kind of planet or area that it does not support humanoid evolution, but more reptilian and vicious animal evolution. Does that make sense to you?
Somehow, yeah. Why are we not allowed to be contacted by aliens? And back then there was like just
because they decided that first of all, they wanted to separate the contact between aliens and humans because it was getting way too much. And they wanted to be able to be in control. And they figured if they didn't do something about it, first contact was going to come before they were ready for it and ready for them to give up their power and all that they had to give up. And they wanted to stop that. They saw first contact coming too fast. And so humans stopped it. Governments stopped it. There was too many aliens coming in and out. And they were also taking humans in and out.
That's the guy who's doing the video right now, just FYI. I just confirmed that he is.
What? What was that?
There was someone with the mic on.
I see. I didn't catch what they said.
It's okay now. It's muted. Please continue.
Very good. I forgot what I was saying. But anyway, yes, the time of separation. Yes, so they saw first contact coming very quickly, and they didn't think the planet was ready for it. However, if the planet would have went through first contact back in the early 2010s, 11, 12, when it was supposed to, it would be a much better time at this point in some ways, but there's still, the prophecies of the universe did predict that there would be interference.
Thank you very much. I took too much time, I guess. I appreciate.
No, you were
Thank
fine.
you, Taker.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me see. Who has a question? Yana has another question. Go ahead, Yana.
Okay, thank you. Tucker, the talk about the stargates made me curious about my conception here behind me. That's the stargate I work with, because that is connected to Orion, the large stargate, natural stargate there with consent of the Orion Council. Which entrance point do I use here?
It does not matter. The entrance point is not the concern. What you do when you're inside of it is the concern. It is that they are with the star. See, this is just the frame of a Stargate. It does not have the technology with it that would be inside of a Stargate, and it does not have the metal framing of the Stargate as well. But this is what it would look like in its essence, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
you have the essence of the Stargate there, and that is essentially what it looks like on the inside of it in the for the smaller Stargates. Now,
Yes.
when you get into the Stargates, your DNA must be in there for you to be able to use it. So take a hair out or something and put it into the Stargate so that it reads it. When it reads your DNA, it will a light will come on and then it will go off. And then, or at least that's with whenever you can see inside these Stargates. There are different colors of insignias around the Stargate area inside, around the sides of it. And these are destination points. And as you are looking for your destination, it's color coordinated. Now, you may not be able to see the depth of color that other species can see. So some reds may look very similar, or some yellows may look very similar, but they can see the difference between all these different areas and locations. And so one will go to Orion, Fandoria, Pleiades, Sirius, all these different places. So there are like at least 7 planets that it will go to, other than the Earth.
Yes. So the physical form behind me is just what I perceive is more of an anchor. It's just the physical anchor to anchor it into the third dimension, and
correct.
What we're actually working with, and that includes the DNA that, with everybody's consent, that we put in, is more of a field, a consciousness field that we're working with to connect to all the grid systems that connect to where we want to go.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
A consciousness field, actually, it's more than one kind of field. There's several different layers to that. So
yeah.
A consciousness field, a DNA field, a spectrum analysis field of the different kinds of atmospheric changes that will be necessary for when it's being used, etc. So it is something, what you have there is an example of one of the smaller Stargates, and yes. they're continuing to build more of these because they feel that they will need them in the future.
Yes, so the Orions call it the Kalak-Klar. Kalak-Klar, yeah.
Yes.
And needs it, so as the way we use it, as I use it, is more of working with the grid systems, and it also more of an energy amplifier because it would need more crystals in it in a certain.
However, let me tell you this: if a fly enters your Stargate in a certain area and lands in a certain particular part on the floor underneath that Stargate, it may be transported.
Okay. That's great. Yeah, but it needs a more of a crystal calibration, calibration to be able to be a Stargate transporter. But I'm not interested in using it that way. So
I understand.
For my work, it's just an energy amplifier to connect.
The large Stargates look very different than that, but there is a reason for that as well.
Yeah. This is the 3D version. Yeah.
Yes, if that was the size for a human to fit into, it would look like that, similar.
Yeah.
And then you would see different lightings and things of that nature. The crystals are very important in it. Yes.
Yes, they're there. Okay. Thanks very much.
Crystals are used in all the Stargates, all of them.
Thanks very much. And blessings and a wonderful day.
Yes.
Thank you. David has a question. Go ahead, David.
Greetings. Hello.
Greetings.
Tiaru kunja hana nyatia. I got a question. I mentioned the portal Stargate in Egypt.
Yes.
I'm wondering about any of my connections and what I may be doing with the Stargates, the
You would
portals
just
over there.
have codes for the Sphinx that I see.
Okay.
So that's all. I don't see you are connected with the Stargates as much. Your DNA is already in them somewhere, but your connection to the Stargates are more connections to the Sphinx. The Sphinx is where your connection lies. What the rooms inside of the Sphinx that have not yet been opened.
Yes. Okay, great. Also, I was really curious about the point at which, because there was so much communication with different species and people coming back and forth, how is it possible that people forgot or they were tricked into not knowing about the Galactics? At what point and how did they get it where people didn't remember or know anymore? Because that would be transferred from family member about these communications and these things that were happening.
Well, it was. Let me tell you about that. One moment. First of all, you must understand that Stargate to Stargate and people to peoples. This was a long time ago, and when they left, they took the technology of the Stargates with them, and so there was no proof that they existed. There was proof that they were there in fourth density, but not in third density. So they took all the proof out of third density and shifted it into fourth density so that no one could see it or no one could be aware of it. And so in doing this, they stopped all the rumors because there was no proof.
Okay. It was simple as that. Okay.
It's very simple. There's legends and stories and things of that nature, but they died out because there was no proof.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, they said, you're saying that this right here was a Stargate. Well, where is it? Where is that Stargate?
You've been talking
there's
too
a
much,
Stargate
Jimmy.
there, and you're telling me this story. I see no proof of it.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's awesome. And thank you for your healing work with me in the past.
You're
been
welcome.
amazing. Much love. Tiaro tukushaha. Peace.
Yeah. Come over here. There's a question here.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Very quick. Have we passed the nuclear war timeline yet?
You've already passed it once. There is another nuclear timeline that has not been passed, but the first one has been passed.
And how much time do we have to pass the second one?
That is not known because decisions must be made. The future is tentative at this time.
Okay.
Meaning that the future at this point, as we see it, the nuclear timeline will get passed. We will get past it. But there is another timeline with certain decisions being made that we will not pass it.
How much
So
time do
it
we
is
have?
a matter of decisions. That is not known because decisions. Hello, you are repeating. It's tentative at this time, meaning that the future. Karen, yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Takir. But for now, we've passed the first one.
You passed the first nuclear deadline, but the second one is farther out.
Further out. Okay.
And it is unsure whether you will pass that or not. Okay. At this moment, it's all right.
Right.
But it is not secure.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank
you. But the first one has passed.
Wonderful.
Sorry for that. I was trying to see the questions in the YouTube chat and the video started playing. So that's why you were getting feedback there.
I see.
I do apologize for that. Christine has a question. Go ahead, Christine.
Hello, Tukur again.
Greetings.
Greetings. I'd like to know if higher third dimensional people can see some of these things that have been hidden or tucked away in fourth dimension.
Some of them can, but I don't think many of them can yet, because the way that they were put out of phase from humanity has been done very deliberately, so that as they are rising, they will not see it immediately.
Would that be more like dependent upon DNA?
No, it would be dependent on spiritual guidance and spiritual understanding and vision. There is a spiritual vision that can see through into these areas.
Okay. Like some of the Ring of Solomon and all these other.
Those are relics that can also help to see into this density.
And
between densities. Well, fourth density it is, but it's in an offset of fourth density. I cannot explain it exactly.
Okay.
We just call it out of phase.
Okay. Thank you, Tukur.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, there's just a couple of questions in the YouTube chat. I'm just going to ask one quickly before we go. One is, how are the Anunnaki assisting us right now? And which Anunnaki are involved?
Anunnaki are not really assisting in a direct way. They're doing something very indirectly because they're not permitted to have direct contact. Remember, you have the time of separation. So the Anunnaki, those that were grandfathered in, are doing what they can and have taken leadership positions in Europe. Now, the Anunnaki outside of your realm cannot get through except by communication to those that are inside the realm. So everything is pretty much indirect with Anunnaki at this time. And they're not really doing much but communicating and planning.
Okay, there's a kind of question that's related because someone was asking about how did the humans become the humans of this time, and the Anunnaki were involved in that as well, correct?
Yes, that was a long time ago.
Yes.
But yes, the DNA that was being spliced and used changed the look of humanity and the intelligence of humanity. And you might if you go back, you might find it curious that Neanderthal man, although had the greater brain, did not survive, but it was more Cro-Magnon man that they took and made into the newer type of human being. It's a very interesting sort of thing. I couldn't even go into it all, but they did not. But the Neanderthal.
Yeah.
What?
I said it doesn't make sense logically, but yet that was the outcome.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that it should not have been that way. In natural selection, Neanderthal should have won out.
Understood. Okay. Thank you so much. There's just more people that are asking for healing. There's a lot of headaches, bronchitis.
There is much disease on your planet, and we are there to help. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. We've reached the end of, not of all the questions, but the end of time. So
yes.
we've asked you to bring Jim back, and thank you so very much.
You're welcome. It was good to be here with you today.
It's very nice to see you. We don't see you enough.
You're welcome. Hello.
Hello, welcome back.
Thank you. Welcome back. Thanks. There it is.
You have some water? Yeah.
Ah, very well. How is
It's like
everyone
the old
doing?
days. We had a lot of spend some time with Takur. Haven't seen
Yes.
Takur in a long time. Do you
All
talk
right.
to Takur on your own? Because you used to talk to Takur a lot on your own.
Well,
Do you still-
Kerr is someone that brings information to me that is necessary. She keeps me updated on some things. That's all.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right. Next week, I'm going to be back. I'm going to be doing the second part of the tarot series that I was doing before. So anyone who's interested in tarot, please bring your deck and bring your questions, and we'll keep going into how to do tarot readings. For any questions that you might have about the nuances of the cards or layouts or the meanings of different symbolism. We'll continue that next week. And then in another week, you'll be back.
Yes.
That's
Remember,
awesome.
I'm going away in June to England from the 6th to the 23rd. I'll be in England.
Okay. That's a long
So
time.
we're going to
No
set up some
webinar.
times where I can meet people there too. So
Awesome.
And when you go, will you be doing any webinars while you're in England?
there's a possibility, but they're not set up quite yet. I'm waiting to hear back from my contacts in England to see what's going on. I know we'll be meeting at Stonehenge on the 21st, but other than that, there are other things that I'm sure will happen. A few other things will happen as well.
Okay. Well, it'd be great to have you do a live from Stonehenge.
Ooh, interesting. If I can.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so much love to you. And let's see who's going to do some blessings on the way out. David, Wendy, Susan.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, we'll start with David. Go ahead, David.
All right, just going to set an intention for peace, healing, love, and a message for the highest good. Sharo onyatara kian, soro maakia toraha, utari ashanzo, maki torasha. Let the heart shine. Tu mahanea tora hanki sunzu raakiat, moshukuru uchukurasa, niatera mana niaratiti kukushkurhinya. Rahamaniat, rukunzia rama aniatero okukuyasha. Tela atoro okunga shahani atara anku maakiki wa achu uru otu shukukiha. Tela aniater manakukukishi. Peace, love, blessings.
Relax into your love. Relax into your mission. Do not let it make you overwhelmed. Do not let it make you into something that you are not. You must be yourself, and you must shine as yourself. God created you to do what you are to do. And as you become what he has created for you, you will feel more joy, more happiness, more contentment, and more understanding and wisdom. Love is the greatest of the gifts, and without it, your mission will be lacking. It may have some good points, but without love, it will never reach the highest pinnacle that God wants it to reach. So be in love with God and be in love with yourself and the things that you must do. But remember, humility. You may love yourself and still be humble. Humility speaks for itself.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Susan. Go ahead.
All right. To sikato koya tia, hiesa koya tia koya tia, ito koya, sikitia. Ho sekata kia toya ya sikayo, sikayo toya ya sikia kote ya itia. Ho siako titia yeta ko, hiesia ko, hi titia, tia, sukoto tia, sikoya tia, sikitio, hiesika. Much love.
Yes, there are many of you here that are looking and searching still for light and understanding. Many of you have gifts and many of you have understanding, but light is something that you want to find in even a greater way than you have found already. Allow yourself to relax into God. Allow yourself to relax into the world of positivity, for you must rise from that place.
Okay, thank you. Wendy, go ahead.
Thank you. Ano anyara tara nyoroko anyoro to na hai anyara kiana rahi anaho anyara kahi anyara to yanara tahi anyara hiu nuho anyahai kiete ahi anora nai anyahu yanaka o anoho yanahai Oronya. Blessings.
Now is the time for vibration, tones, song, greetings, praise. Now is the time for uplifting. Now is the time of power. Remember that power comes with all the positivity you can gain, and it outshines negativity 100-fold. And so as you grow in your light, your power, your vibration, your tone, your song, your praise, you also rise into other realms, into other places known as the upper places that you need to be. There's more to that message, but it is only for a different realm. I'm not sure what that means.
Okay. All right. Is it okay to go to the next person?
Yes.
Okay, Yana will be doing the last blessing. Go ahead, Yana.
Thank you. Shtatatenu akantayakate ke irtene kua ashtata enate ke oa ante atu ashtete kuantaine ke ia harte untu akantaite testo hainta te hete ka ia natataya keto ostana atu perteneo kuanda taine kete Teneo kuanta tate tu e katanta e takate taine.
Walk away from conflicts and negative understandings because they do not build you up or edify you in any way. Walk away from those things that cannot be brought to an agreement. Let them fall away. Let them fall away, the things that do not help you, that cause you burdens and cause you negativity. Walk away from these things. Let them fall and fill yourself with the things that you do understand and that will bring positivity and that will bring unity. For the earth is in a very separate way at this time. Unity is what is needed. Love and guidance, wisdom. Use your wisdom when dealing with all the things of yourself, because you must be understanding who you are completely before you can tell someone else what is wrong with them or what is necessary for them to change.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. Thank you to everyone in the YouTube chat, everyone in the room. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you next week. We'll be back with Jim in 2 weeks. And yeah, much love to everyone. Jim, you okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
We're just still in your meditation.
They keep going. They kept going and going, and I sort of stopped them.
Wait, were the messages for us or for other realms?
Well, they were just ongoing. It wouldn't stop. So, but I saw that it wasn't necessary for them to keep going, so I stopped them.
All right. Well, that is your prerogative as the channel. So
Well, I guess it's
my working with all those other dimensions, I had stuff to say apparently, or
Oh,
my higher self did.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. All right.
All
Well, thank you,
right.
everyone. See you next week.
Thanks, Karen.
That time, same back channel. Much love to you. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time. All right. Thank you.
All right. Much love to everyone.
Bye-bye.
If you're in Europe or England, come see me.
You have to
when I
give
go there.
details on how to do that. So
I will get them to you as soon as I know them.
perfect. All right.